I was born in Selkirk, Manitoba, and I was raised by my grandparents because my mother died when I was an infant. And my grandmother, who raised me, was quite focused upon the importance of education. She wanted me to get a good education, but she also wanted me to make a commitment to ensuring that the work that I did would contribute to the benefit of other people. For the longest time since Confederation, Canada participated in a process of cultural genocide. They forcefully removed children from families at very young ages and placed them into institutions for the sole purpose of indoctrinating them into believing that they were inferior, that they came from inferior stock, they came from inferior places, and that their cultures, languages, and people, their families, their heroes, their stories were all inferior and not valid and not worthy of being utilized. For 7 generations, those schools were in place, and by the time the 5th and 6th and 7th generations were going through the schools, the children were being badly affected by what they were experiencing in the schools, culturally, socially, and linguistically, but they had no recourse back home. They had very few people who could teach them the language, who knew the culture, who knew their history, and as a result, they had no anchor anymore. Canada, for 150 years, has taught all of the children of this country to believe that Indigenous people are inferior and that European-based civilizations are superior. And that mythology has got to stop. It has stopped in some ways, but it has to stop being the foundation of education in the future. And in the future, Indigenous education is the key to reconciliation. The relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in this country was founded upon a respect for Indigenous law. The first contact between Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people was founded upon the treaty-making process that required the European people to comply with Indigenous law in order for them to stay in this country. And that foundation needs to continue.